Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you one way to do the cylindrical part of our shaft bearing. And the first thing it's wise to do, now that we've got this section mostly completed, I've still got to do the radii on the front here, this one here, and put a couple of holes in it. But we'll just move on to this next section because this has caused a few problems. Firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that and make it into a group. I can make it a component, but I'll make it into a group. And because I don't want to edit this at the moment. Then what I'm going to do, I'll just move around here a little bit. I'm going to put my circle on. Now, from looking at the drawing, I know that this component here is 30 millimeters wide. And I also know that the outer diameter of the cylindrical section is 30 millimeters. So what I know then is that if I find the midpoint, it should meet up at that point there. The circle should actually match the width of this piece here. Now, another thing too, and this is a really important trick when drawing multiple circles along the same axes and planes in SketchUp. And for this object, I'm going to need to draw three. I've got the outer diameter, I've got the diameter of the inner hole, and I've also got the rear diameter. So I've got three circles I have to draw to create this piece. And what's really important is when you are drawing circles that relate to each other, as these three do, it's very important that you create the circle by drawing out along an axis line. So in this case, I'm drawing this along the green axis because it allows me to intersect with this object here. So every other circle I'm going to draw, I should draw on the green axis. And the reason why is because all circular or curved surfaces in SketchUp are actually made up of a collection of straight lines. And in this case, this circle is actually made up of a collection of 24 straight lines. And what I need is I need to have the intersection points of those straight lines lining up. And if I don't consistently draw my circles on exactly the same axis, they will not line up. And particularly when it comes to doing the radius at the back of this object, it's really critical that these intersection points line up because I'm going to use those to draw my radius on the back of this section of the drawing. So here we go. First circle. There it is. Now, I know from my drawing that it extrudes out from the front of the, this plate object. It extrudes out 18 millimeters. So I'm going to push it. 18. And I'll go around the back, and I know that the overall length of this piece is 27 millimeters. So I know that's 5 thick, and I also know that there's another radius of 4 on the back. So it needs to come out 9. All right. So the next thing we can do, I'll come back around the front. We know that we've got a hole that goes through the middle of it that is a diameter of 15. Now we need to find the center point, and sometimes, see, it just found it then, but sometimes it doesn't like clicking on it. So a way to work around that is we can click there, and we can just find an endpoint to one of these segments. This is with our tape measure, and we can click in the middle. We can do it again. See how it's creating? There we go. So now it's found a center for us. So circle. Now I have to remember that a diameter of 15 is a radius of 7.5. There we go. And we can now push this. Now we know that the length of this is 27, so we can just say 27. And we'll go around the back and have a look. Now see how this piece here is intruding in our circle? We'll deal with that later. We don't have to worry about it too much now. So at least we've got a circle going all the way through. Now so far so good. So we're getting into the tricky bit now, because what we can see at the back, there's an outer diameter of 22, and then there is a radius of 4 between this piece here and the other outer diameter. So we'll do this. In fact, what I'll do, I'll get rid of the guides that we have, because we don't need those, and we're going to put a few more in. So we need to find the center point out here. So doing the same technique again. There's the center point. So we'll put in a circle, and it is a diameter of 22, so it's a radius of 11. Now let's just not make that silly mistake. Remember how I said before, we have to have this along, this is really key to have this along the green axis, because we need to make this rib for the radius. So here we go, 11. And I'm along the green axis. Okay, so now I need to push this section here back 4. Let's just orbit around and see what we've got. That looks good. All right, so now we need to make this radius, and this is where it was critical that we got this all these segments lined up. So again, I don't need those guides. I'm going to delete those. I'm going to start with some new guides. So you can see there's a intersection point there. There's one there. So if I start here, start there, it should go along the red axis, 4 millimeters. Yep, it's misbehaving. Go up the blue. There we go. That worked. That might give us all we need. Basically what we're looking for is some starting points for our arc. Now for this one, I need a 2-point arc. So from there to there. There we go. There's our tangent. And then we need just to draw a line that goes from there to the intersection there, and then from there up to there. There we go. We've got our rib without too many problems. So the next thing now is the follow me. And I know some of you guys are experts at it, but some of you have got some interesting ways of using it. This is the easiest way that I've found. So we go select. We select either the surface or the line that I want to follow around. So in this case, I want this to go around this line here. I then click on my follow me tool. Now I can either get it from here, or I can go up into tools and follow me. So I select my follow me, and then the thing that I want to rotate around, I then wait till I've got the little dots on it, and then I press the button. There you go. Let's have a look at that. That's nice. See how it all lines up nicely? There's no little funny bits of geometry. Okay, now we've got to get rid of this bit going through the middle here. So what we'll do is, firstly we have to select that group, and we're going to explode it. I'll just get this more in the middle. Then I'm going to select everything again, and I'm going to intersect faces, and I'll go with selection. There we go. So that's intersected faces. What that now allows me to do is I can go in here and I can delete this out. But I'll show you, it's not perfect, but it's better. So I can delete that, delete that. Now I still have these lines in here, and this is where you can get, into some strife. It just depends, and so it's not critical for you to delete all of these lines. But let's have a go and see what happens. So far, so good. Sometimes what can happen is the line can be connected to some other form of geometry, and next a whole face disappears. So you do just have to be a little bit careful with that. But so far, so good. But to be honest, if you ended up finishing your model with some of these lines, see, exactly, that's what I mean. This sort of thing can happen. So I might have to leave just a little bit of it in there. Yeah, it seems to be this line here. If I go right in close, you can see, I might even be able to fix that actually with a rectangle. Let's see if we can. I think I kind of fixed it, but not really, because that's not going to work. Like it's not, I've now got these lines in here. What I could do actually is I could go back out, I could select again, and I could try again, intersect faces. Okay, let's go in and see if that did anything. No, it didn't. So we won't worry about that. It's not really that important. So there you go. So that's a good way to get this section done. But I think the main tip in there is about how, if you need to draw multiple lines, the best way to do it, which is to make sure that you always draw them out along the same axis, whatever that axis is.